Good morning, Maya Power back. Here's the plan. Roof beam. They are planning to pour at least a part of the roof beam on the front of the house, the east. I'll explain why shortly. And they may also be aiming to do quite a lot of, if not all, of the south wall roof beam. Along with that, perimeter wall. South wall may get completed today. What could possibly go wrong? Roof beams. So we'll go up and have a look in a moment. I'm still trying to get a handle on how much of the roof beam is going to be poured today. I think it is definitely this small front section, and then I think they may be doing that entire roof beam around what will be the master bedroom balcony, and I think they will be completing down this south side as well. We will go and have a look. I'm not sure if it has helped to come up here. I think it's actually harder to make things out. You can't see the wood for the trees here, but I think this corner section above the master bedroom balcony, so master bedroom there, balcony there, so above that, I think that might all get poured. I think this south beam might get poured. And they're not far away at the back of the house from having a lot of forms in place there, although clearly there's still work to do and they don't have the steel bars to help to finish off those mini monster forms. That's what I think they might do. We'll have to keep an eye on it. Right, it is easier to make it out from here, at least this part of the house. So the reason they want to get this beam done first is because then they can attach the pulley up there and they can use the bobcat to basically pull on the rope, which will have the cage that we looked at yesterday. That'll be attached, and that will be more efficient than guys pulling on the rope. So they're just trying to make life a little easier for the guys. Instead of trying to bring upstairs all of this and all of this, and I'm sure there's more to come. Sorry about the shadow. Let's stick with that one. It's easy to see. So there is clearly still a ton of material that has to be taken up onto the second floor. So bobcat plus pulley plus roof beam, more efficient. So that's definitely why they want to do this front part first. I did talk to the builder this morning about whether it makes sense to pour individual roof beams rather than waiting until everything is in place and then doing a monopore. And he said because the load on that roof beam is so much less, it basically only has to carry the roof. He is not at all concerned about having separate pours for different roof beams. So Mr. Builders and Mrs. Builders out there, or Ms. Builders, or Master Builders, what do you think? Is that something you're okay with? Separately pouring roof beams. Sounded like a reasonable explanation to me, but as we know, I know nothing. Manny's just helping us out with a little side project here. When they built this house, we ended up with basically, I think, where they mixed concrete, and it left I don't know, about a 3 or 4 maybe square meter area, maybe a bit less. 3 or 4 sounds about right. 3 or 4 square meter area with this concrete sitting on the surface, and we just wanted to get rid of it, given that we've got grandson Adio coming to visit in the next few days, we think, and we don't want this kind of stuff for him to run around and fall on. He apparently did bump himself last time he was here. So Manny's helping us get rid of this. And that's efficiency for you. I mean, I asked the builder about 40 minutes ago to do this. South wall. So we are done and dusted with the beam all the way right back down to the front of the property, all the way up to here. 4 sections to go. I think there is a very reasonable chance they'll get those 4 sections with the columns, with the beam, done today. What could possibly go wrong? I'm standing right at the corner of the house, on the southwest corner, the back of the house, looking at this rather unsightly mess, where right near the beginning of the build, if you're watching, that's where they dug out a rather large hole just here to basically help drain water away from the build site of the house itself, where we were getting some standing water because of a pretty high water table. Anyway, that doesn't matter. What matters is this is going to be the area in which the swimming pool will be built. No, this hole is not the swimming pool, but the rather exciting news is that they will make a start on the swimming pool next week. Definitely something new to look at. Will be very interesting to see what kind of techniques they use. There are different ways of building swimming pools and making sure it doesn't leak. So we'll stay tuned and see what kind of techniques they use here. We're just trying this morning to make a final decision on exactly where the pool goes, because we do have a pretty nice size area here between the house and this back wall. Again, if you watched earlier videos right near the beginning, you might know that we moved the house before we started a few meters forwards to make sure we had a nice big area here. So, swimming pool. Watch this space. It's a coming. Well, it's almost 2 o'clock and the concrete mix has been fired up. I think the pouring is about to begin. See if we can get a little bit closer. So, Elson's mixed up the first batch. Ready to go. Well, soon. And here's the next piece of the puzzle, the vibrator. Almost ready. So here we go. Everyone's come up to have a look. The pour begins. We'll stay with this and see how much of it they are going to do this afternoon. Well, we're not just going to stand here and hope for the best. We'll come back in a while. So they're coming at it from 2 ends, up at the top there. JR in the green hat this end. And the blue hat pouring that one, absolutely no idea. And the bucket brigade passes from one to the next. And in it goes. With lead foreman Manny giving an eye on things. And multitasking engineer Raphael. Ditto. So, apologies. Blue hat is Jojet. And down here, Juanito, and Gringo, and Ariel, and Elson, and new Marvin, who's only recently joined a couple of days ago. So we've got, I don't know, altogether 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 15 or so of the crew are upstairs right now. And today we had a total of 23. Jojet's on the head of the vibrator right now. They're just trying to get it fired up. And there it goes. So having vibrated it, they will need to top up. So there you go, we've got 2 beams fully poured, the third and fourth on the bottom left as you're looking at it, and where JR is with the green hat, who's just getting the bucket now, that's the fourth one. That's the one that they're going to use basically to attach the pulley to, so that they can bring materials upstairs without it hauling someone's biceps off. So they'll use the diggerator and the pulley and get materials upstairs much easier. Let's see if we can go down a little bit more without knocking someone's head off. So, say hello to JR and Jojet up on top. And Manny, watching over things. So, the first part of our roof beam poured. We'll come back a little bit later if the wind allows and see how far they get. Well, it's 4:30. And as you might be able to make out, we'll go a bit closer in a second, there is still a crew upstairs. They're not pouring concrete, they're working on more of the bases, more of the forms, ready to pour more tomorrow. So let's get in and have a little bit of a closer look and see what they got to. So this is where they started, in this bottom right hand corner. And they have poured all of that, and then they continued along this south side. So we'll go in a bit more. So this south wall is all done, and then they continued along the back of the house, the west, and they got to that corner where the what's that? Where the bedroom, the master suite, the master bathroom actually, where that finishes. So that's how far they got with the pour today. A little bit more than I thought they might do this morning, but that's not unusual. They always do more than I expect. And now we've got a crew upstairs, which we can get a little closer to. There's a couple, there's 3, and there's a couple more further over. There's 4. I lied. Well, not deliberately. And then round this way. Two more. So yeah, all still working on forms, rebar, bases, ready to continue the pour tomorrow. So we shall come back and have another look when they start doing more of that. But for now, that's enough up here. Well, while the small crew finishes off whatever they're doing upstairs in the house, we're going to finish here. So we are back at the south wall, looking at it from just around the corner. So we're looking at the back, basically from our neighbour's side. So you can probably make out there are two sections with no... Oh, no, I'm wrong. They have poured all of the beam except the very corner of our wall. We're not building a beam by the look of it for the neighbour's wall. That's up to them. We just rebuilt it back to the height that it was, and far stronger. So they finished here at about 4 o'clock. So I think that's it. I think that's all we're going to see on this area of wall for some time to come, until they come back and then start making their way down along here, trying to avoid any more of this wall falling down, but I wouldn't be surprised if it does. So as of tomorrow, if the plan continues, they will switch to back over behind the other building over there, and they will start on the north side again, and they will extend along the back of the property, the north side of the property, down past the pond, and then turn the corner and keep going. That's the plan as far as I understand it. But today, the big deal, I'm sure, was really getting the roof beam pour part 1. So some very good progress. In a day or 2 or 3, they will be able to attach the pulley back on upstairs and use that to get materials upstairs with the help of the diggerator. So, come back tomorrow and see how much more they can pour. I guess that will, at least in part, depend on how long the crew stays tonight and how much more preparation they can do. But there's clearly a lot already been done. So, more pour tomorrow. See you then.